Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chandra.
Hello, Abhishek. Hello. Yeah, I think we can start now.
Yes.
Okay, okay, can start.
I
Good
think
afternoon.
can I give some background of this, Abhi? Okay, so right, last time we had one session where you gave some intro about all this. Okay, and then what we done is we started internally to learn and ramp up on learning this thing. And mainly in the team, Sandhya, Chari, Swapna, and Nidhi have been doing some practice, and Murali have been doing some practice. And what we want is they have some issues which we want some clarifications kind of. It's not like zero to starting from zero. Hmm? Hmm?
Okay, perfect, Chandra.
So
So,
yeah.
yes.
So who wants to go about with your doubts? Uh, Murali, Nidhi, who is that going first? Swapna? Yes, speak up. Abhishek is our friend like guy, so he can bomb us,
Yeah,
but we can bear
I
it.
am real world only. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No one is going first.
No, it's fine. I think Sandhya said like maybe I can give the overview again.
Yeah. Maybe you
Mm.
can give a
Yes.
basic intro, and then our team will
Yes.
switch in with their questions.
Okay, let me know when you guys see the screen.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes. I can.
Recording, recording.
Yeah. This the
Magic,
recording
Yeah,
started.
yeah, I started.
magic button click.
But
Okay,
but
thank
keep
you.
it under real world only.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you all guys have access to the Resolve platform, and there are three environments of it: dev, Q, and prod. So on dev and QA, you will get a modified access, that is to create runbooks and see the results and view the runbooks and the action tasks. All those things you can get out of it. But on production, you can only see the results of the runbook executed on the production. You will not be able to modify anything on the production. So
Mhm.
that's for Resolve admins like me and Naheem and the other guys. So and yeah, let me provide I think you guys already have a link to the Resolve documentation. I'm gonna paste it again, and we are on version 7.9.0.0 for now, and we do upgrade every year. Um, so just the information, we are on 7900. Okay.
Mhm.
Mm.
So if you are on previous version,
Okay.
no, for example, if you're on latest version and
Mhm.
your other environment is behind that, and if you create a runbook on 7.9, I don't, so I think it will not work on 7.9 previous version, like older than 7.9. So make
Okay.
sure
Mhm.
you have a right version on your runbooks. Okay, so it's a
Okay.
orchestrate automation tool that you can automate your daily processes, operation, IT networks, change management process, or incident
Oh,
management. You can automate your monitoring as well and take some necessary actions based on the certain rules. Like if if it is like if Zabbix is throwing a mail to the group email like the hardware usage is above 85%. Sorry, the
Mhm.
disk space is above 85%.
Mhm.
So Resolve can read that mail and log in into that machine and try to find some temp files and try to clear that. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to
Okay.
map those things during the process. So there are two things. The one is automation, the another is action task. So
Mm.
automation is a like a collective collection of action tasks connected together by passing the information from like previous process to the next process. An action task is an individual component where you will define all the required parameters, input and output, along with the functionality that action task will perform. So might be that action task is responsible to send mail when your work is done on the previous mail. Okay, so and this is a resolve user interface. You will mostly see these on your side, and the system administration will only restrict to system admins. On the top right, where you will see all the results executed on the Resolve platform, and the bad or critical or red means is like on the platform, sorry, on the runbook or on the action task, there is something wrong. Okay. And if it is something wrong, you can also attach a next section task is like if there is any wrong, send mail to the owner to check it or to the administration. If it is good, then it means your automation has been executed successfully, 100%, no errors, no warnings, nothing. There is a warning thing also. You can also include warning things. So if I open one of this, you can see the summary will tell you what is it executed. Is it action task, individual, or a complete run book? Okay, and run book is a uh, collection of action tasks. So I'll just open one just to show you. So this one, so Joshua executed this, and you see each block is showing an action task. Okay, so it means that that runbook has this workflow to execute from start to end. So I'll gonna you can click on advanced and you can see the action book or sorry run book. I'll just click on it and you will get it will open the run book, and in the run book you can see the workflow. Okay. So you see it start from here. So it will always flow from top to down as per the like language execute from top to bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and based on the decisions like or conditions it will move. So if it is green, it will execute, it will move to this direction. If something is bad, like if the condition is bad, and so if this will not execute. So it will be a bad condition. If there is something error on the DB query or anything, then it will take this route. Um, this one, get API token again, send mail to the owner, delete the text file, and end. Okay, so it's a end bad end. If it is green, it will follow this again green, then it will use this. If it is empty, it will end the process. If it is not empty, it will go to right, and this will execute a series of action tasks. So these background blocker you are seeing, these are just a helper or to club action task into a one. So like what this process is doing here. So what they are saying SSH into CSDB system. So it's a good thing to add these containers, text, like workflows, WS variables. So when your another developer looks at your runbook, like he or she able to understand like what your runbook is doing. So they are different. If I just edit, I'm not gonna edit anything. I just gonna show you. So you see there are some text container. So all those things are there, and this all works on drag and drop mechanism. So it's like I'm not entirely sure. I think it's NS8 thing where you can automate your task with a drag and drop. So if you need to add another task between these, you can just drag and drop, and you can also add automation under one automation. So it will be like a sub run book. And if you click on any one of the tasks, you will see what is the actual task. Okay, so you need to display put a display name here, but the actual task is this. The first one is the namespace. Okay, namespace is like some kind of permission thing
Package.
in, yeah, so like a no, it's like a access manager. So
Okay.
may all the this all the namespaces have a different permissions on different level. So for example, resolve
Okay.
namespace. Okay, so on resolve namespace will have a system run books that we cannot modify. Okay, so the user cannot modify. So if you use the system run book and if you try to modify that, you will not be able to allow, because that namespace is restricted to only allow with that resolve user.
Okay.
So these are namespace. We have created a namespace like a Vodacom. Okay, so you need to create all the runbooks under that only. Then you will not get any issues. So you can see Vodacom dot utils is the package, and then a variables. That's a action task name, and you can open action task by clicking on this. Here, what you are seeing, the input, whatever input you are passing, you're providing to this. So either
Okay.
it can be a like a user defined fixed ones, or it can flow from the previous one. So if it is flowing from the previous one, then it will be a WS data. Okay. And then if I click one of them, so from WS data, and it is select that output variable that is coming from the previous one. So So this is the action task. So this one should have that output. Okay, so you see work log. So this
So
output work log. This you can
so
use to the
so
provide the input to
WS
this. Yes, Chandra.
WS data means, for example, that the previous task, if attempt is equal to 2, is returning some 5 variables. Okay, then you can map to any one of them, no? In this work log
Yes. So you
WS data,
see
right?
that is the name work log. So you will use work log, and that you need to use on this side on the, you see how, so what is the value for this new parameter, input parameter for the action task? It's a data coming from the previous task. And how you can use it? So what is available on the output on this action task? So you see work log, you need to use
Hmm.
that only on the input of the next task. If you need to use the data from the previous task, that you see work log.
Hmm.
Okay, and this is the, okay. What is QName? QName is like there is a RS remote component if you have read on the document, so that we can run individuals as well as on the different regions. So like if we are doing development for DRC, okay, and
Hmm.
if we, and now we need connectivity from our system to the DRC system, correct? So RS remote is a intermediate that is responsible to connect to the endpoints. But if we deploy another RS remote component of Resolve into DRC side, then it will be very easy, like um, to talk to the DRC servers. And there you need to define like this SN file is a Vodacom RS remote. So if we have a DRC one, we can say DRC underscore Q. Then it will use the DRC RS remote. So it will be like a less connections, firewall connections required. If you do from SA, we need to open each and everything. But if you have RS remote on the DRC side, then we just need to open one firewall rule, that is from SA resolve to the DRC RS remote. Then all the operations will be performed using that RS remote. But I think you can read more about on RS remote on. This is not required for now, just additional
Hmm.
info. So this is a mechanism, ठीक है? The
So one
value will
task
come
to
from previous
another
action task, it will go
inputs.
to next action task, and it will
Okay.
connect through the dots, and it will perform whatever you need to perform. So
And
hmm,
Abhi, you mentioned no this thing. You mentioned, for example, Zabbix has raised one alarm, and that alarm to be addressed by this automation. Okay, run book.
hmm.
How do you connect that?
So there are some remote functions available on Resolve. So right now that read one is not working. So it was working on EWS, but now we have moved our EWS mail functionality to MS Graph. And on
Hmm.
MS Graph, what we have enabled is for now is to sending mails to the users along with the attachment. We are also in process to add the read functionality to this MS Graph. So how does it work? Okay, so there is a component on RS remote. So there is a functionality on RS remote, and that is deployed under that. So on 60 seconds interval, it continuously running in the on the server in the background. What it's
Hmm.
checking is defined on this filter name. So what is checking if you have received anything on your mailbox. So this is the mailbox. So maybe
Hmm.
on the Zabbix you will configure to send your alerts to this mailbox. Okay, and in every
Hmm.
second it will check what is the filter. If the
Hmm.
if it is coming in the inbox on this mailbox, and the subject contains test. Okay,
And we can
what you will
configure, for
do,
example, if
you
it
need
goes
to
to Sandhya's
it will execute
mailbox.
this.
Yeah. If it goes to
What you're asking,
Sandhya's mail,
if
I'm
it is going to
saying
Sandhya's.
Sandhya mailbox, then it should be addressed, right? With this subject kind of thing we can address now.
Yes, so once once this is true, it's a true condition. What we need to do, we need to execute a runbook. Okay, Kevin dot basic
Okay.
runbook. Here you can
You
say
selected.
Vodacom dot
Hmm.
remediate temp file. So then it will automatically execute that runbook, and it will perform whatever is defined on that runbook. Like go to
Okay.
that server, cd stamp, check the space, whatever the most files are using the space. If it is not usable, if it is a reoccurrence thing, just delete them, and that's it.
And in that run book, you will call a shell file.
Yeah, so let me show you that as well. Another thing out, either use this or you can use this pull script. Okay, so
This is Perl or Groovy?
this is Groovy.
Groovy. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So but it will be same for most of them. So this is read one, but on the runbook level, let me show you the runbook as well. Let me show you one of the runbook all action task. Maybe this site management, or yeah, it's fine. We can open this one. So this is how the action task looks like. Okay, so namespace is Vodacom dot. This is action task name. So journal properties will give you the journal things like whether this action task should be active or not. If you disable it, and if any one of them using it, it will not work. So you see the references. So this references means this action task is used in these run books, okay, or automations. So if it is a mail task, so it's a common for all. So you can easily see how many action run books or automation is using that action task. So be careful when you update an action task, or either clone it or copy it, rename it like a Word.com or something like test, and do your perform your test, and then do the actual changes. Okay. So these
Mm.
are roles. So roles is like which roles can access this run book. So admin can view, edit, and execute. So this run book can be accessible by you guys as well. So resolve user can also edit this. So this shouldn't be the case. You should not allow resolve user role to edit or to edit. I think he can that guy the user can view and execute it. So that should be fine, but not to the edit. So this should also be clearly set when you create new run book or sorry action task. And then references like where this action task is used in the automations, and the parameters like what are the input and output parameters are required. And I will not touch base on preprocessor, you can read on the documentation. So the content is the main where you will write your actual code or the functionality. So like what needs to happen on this run book. So so this is Groovy script. You can see content Groovy script. So here we are
Mm.
taking inputs, okay, and we are doing a if else block.
So
And
in that, in earlier you shown one screen where you are mapping the output of one task to another
yes.
input to another task. That
Mhm.
mappings you can put it in the bracket as inputs, no? What you are saying,
No,
content.
so mapping is a different thing. This is individual action task we're talking about right now, not the connection between two action tasks.
Okay,
So,
okay.
but individual action task should have output parameter to pass the information to the next. So
Okay.
whatever, so you are creating output parameter like array output. So in your code, your final result should be stored on that
Map to
parameter.
output parameters. Okay.
Yeah. So
But these
maybe
input parameters, you
input
you
parameters input
yeah,
parameters
this
can
one.
be a user defined, or you can define on this as a default, like a region
Or it
data.
can be from some other task also, no? In that
Yes, it can be from
sequence.
action task also, or you can provide like this action task is specifically for ZAG small world. This server it will execute on that one only. So you can just define the G small world IP here.
Hmm.
Okay, then so your output will be so array results. Okay, so let's see array results. So array results the site name plus vendor or region ID or count ID. So then it will store the results in the array result that you can use in the next task. Okay. Uh,
Hmm.
I will not talk about this one also. This not I haven't used these ones. Preprocessor, parser, assess. So assess is like what will happen based on the certain conditions. Okay. So if there is an exception, okay, then set the condition to bad, set the severity to critical. Okay. Else just show this as on the summary. Query executed successfully. And what will be the condition then? It will be good, because for exceptions we are doing bad, but I think the rest we are just taking as a good. So this is also important when you create the action task, so that it can correctly identify the output of the action task. So whether it was executed successfully, or there are some warnings just or there are some errors. So this should also map correctly, because based on these conditions only you can take the uh, paths. Like if it is good, use this, and use this action task, otherwise use this. So this is also important. And these assignments I have not
Mm.
used severity conditions. I have not used summary and details. Or you can just define what is this runbook or action task is like a detailed description. Mock, you can do a mock test. Like if you, so mock test is also helpful. Uh, Add some records like a mock data and test it. So, but I haven't used this one as well. So tag is like you can club these action task into a one. So you can do that. Like this action task is related to Linux, something like that. So this is also you can do. And if I go to content, okay, and if I do, so this is a Groovy script. Here you see you can do what is the type of task you are performing. Either it's a OS level, Bash, CMDB, PowerShell, Python, or is it assess mode only. So if it is OS level, then you can select this. So I need to execute
So you
Python.
can use some shell code or kind of thing, no? Perl.
Yes, Python shell, Groovy, or Ruby, SQL, XML. So and then when it runs, it will execute using that. So maybe you can define here Python 3.6. So it will execute using that only. So this is the first command it will execute on the OS. So there are
Mhm.
different things on the selectors. So here you need to select a correct type of the action task you are going to perform, whether it's a remote, OS, or Bash. So here you can select these things, and based on this only, you will do your coding part. So okay, 1 second, journal. This will be in Groovy only, that remote part. Okay, but yeah, so this could be not an issue. You can use AI also for your coding, but you should understand like how the
AI?
whole
What do you mean AI? Sorry?
AI is available in the Vodacom. Like you can use Copilot
Oh,
for a coding thing that will give you the answer, but you need to understand how
okay.
the whole things works.
How it
There's
works or
also one
what to
more
modify?
important functionality is available. Yeah, there's also one more functionality available, that is a API endpoints. Okay, you can create new API endpoints using HTTP element present on the result. So, for example, you can create a new endpoint. Let me show you this one. So you just need to define slash the endpoint name and which port. So port will be created by me only. You can along with the username password. And once you select the port, it will use the username password what I have created. Okay, they are fixed for the different usage. So 666 is for remedy. I will show you that part as well on the smart sheet. I have captured it. So if you need a new port, you will let me know the usage. If it is already created, then you will reuse just to keep consistency across the endpoints. But you can define your own endpoint. Okay. So once you create this port, we need to deploy it. So how to deploy it? Just select it, or just you want to. So this means it's not deployed. Green ones are deployed. Maybe you created this, you deployed. You will click on this, remove and replace, and deploy. That's it. So what does this mean now? You can call the endpoint like this address. Okay, slash audit parameters, not the 8443. You will use the port 0. This is port 0. This is not correct. You will not use port 0 always. We have moved from port 0. So for this one, so for example, this one, if you call this one right now, like on the host name, on this port 222 and slash Nokia Reom, what it will do? It will do this. It will execute the runbook defined on this Vodacom.Nokia RAN Reom API. Either you do this filter script or you can just select a runbook here. Like if someone call this API, execute this runbook. Okay, so maybe Netcool is calling the API on the resolve. Okay, and then that runbook is doing some remediation. So yeah, so it's very easy to create an API here because it's just an HTTP endpoint. And then the runbook you need to define like what your runbook will do, whether it will return a set of Oracle records from the query and return back to the API. So you don't have to create a new Spring Boot application and modify your code and then create a new endpoint and all those things. So this is also a good feature on Resolve, like this HTTP filter. So Resolve call these things as a filters. So like a gateway filter. So the one is read email, send email, HTTP, create API endpoints. So all those things, documents are available on the how to use this are available on the uh, that documentation link I provided. So
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you guys have any doubts now. You can maybe before that let me just show you the HTTP part. Okay, password I will share based on requirement. So you see port 111 is used for Nokia TX. Dev and QA, this is the username. Okay, and for prod, it's the same. The password will be different. And 222 is for Nokia RAN. Helix is 333. 444 is Huawei TX. Huawei RAN is 555. 6 is Remedy. Ericsson microwave is 888. And default port is 7778. So make sure you when you configure the HTTP endpoints for different client, you use the same port because the username password will be then it's related to that only. So if you're providing this API endpoint to Helix guys, it's important to provide that username password. We cannot provide the Nokia RAN to the Helix guys. So that's why to keep consistency
Mhm.
on the API endpoints, I created this. So if there's a
Mhm.
new requirement, okay, we can create new port, set username password, authentication type, and then we will keep or share with the guys like you need to use this for this port.
Okay. Mm. One of before others go on, Abhi, one of the reason why we wanted to learn this Resolve and integrate it with UIM is we have some, let's say, DFA automation is there, right? For example, they want to install a new equipment in the network. Okay, whether it is IPM, PLS, or microwave, or the fiber, or any kind of equipment, devices and network elements they want to install in the network, and there is a DFA process to be triggered. Some process automation will we have one engineering work orders in UIM from as such, but there is some process which can be created in the this thing. I mean, in Resolve something. So interfacing with the network element or NMS, giving commands to NMS through the HTTP interfaces, what they have, right? Or SNMP interfaces. So that is our basic requirement. And I think Shanir is doing exactly that thing, no? Am I right?
Um, Actually, I'm not sure what Shani is doing.
Mm.
I'm not like a part of that developer team. Like they are doing. My responsibility is to maintain the environment is like admin kind of things.
Okay.
So. but you can always it's good to always reuse the
Existing
run
patterns.
books or the action tasks existing ones, so you can get a lot of knowledge how you log in into how you can log in into other OS and perform your commands. But
Mhm.
these all are very easy, not very difficult. You need to start work on this.
Yeah. And what kind of automations you Ankit is working on automations, no? Yeah.
No, Ankit is working on smart sheets.
Not on this.
No, so I I created one sheet where I listed the automations. Maybe that can be. I think I shared last time also with you guys.
Ah, the one
So
sheet you shared. Yes, yes, you shared. Yeah.
yeah, you by the name only you can see like what are the current automations the guys have deployed, or like it's running on the Resolve.
Automation testing, ATP automation testing on Excel sheet you gave last month.
Okay,
I
can you
think
guys
we
hear
talk.
me now?
Yeah, we
Yes.
lost you a bit, but no, yeah.
Okay, so if you need either you can search by name like what you were saying DFA. So you see there is no automations is related to that. But maybe
Mm.
if you search for Nokia,
I kept that
you
sheet
can
which
see
you
the
gave me last time,
yeah.
automation testing.xls. In the chat,
Yeah,
I put
so
it
you
for
see,
everyone. Mm.
yes, you see, so when I search for Nokia, these are the automations created. So if you see this is like related to your development, you can just click on this and maybe make a copy of it and reuse it. Okay, so this will be very easy. Make sure you use namespace correctly. So I can see test is fine. Do the test only. Do not you move that to the QA. When you
Mm.
are happy, use a create a new automation with name Vodacom as a namespace.
Mhm.
Might be someone will review your automation code in the QA space by other developers,
Okay.
and it's the same process. Then it will go to the QA testers to test it. The TCA team will test it. If they pass
Okay.
it, we can deploy it to the production.
And one more thing, yeah, to deploy, for example, you do some development in the dev environment. Okay. For example, in OAS, we have some process called promotion. Okay. We can take some archive and Swapna or Sandhya does it regularly. Okay. Like that, from one environment to another environment, you just want to take that process and put it on another environment. What is that? Is there any process of that kind?
Yeah, so it's a package manager. So
Uh-huh.
if you create anything on dev, okay,
Uh-huh.
you can make a package of it. So maybe you have created
Okay.
a action task you want to take to the QA, or you created a automation you want to take to QA. So
Mhm.
using package manager, you can just select whatever you need to, maybe a properties associated with the action task or automation, or maybe you have created some tables also that you
Mhm.
require during the process, or you created the forms, okay, that to take an input from a user,
Mhm.
that you can just select and create. So it will create one package for you, and that ditto package you can import into the QA. That's it. Then it will work on QA as well. So it will be created some like this that you can download and upload on QA.
Mhm. Package creation and then upload it to some.
other
Okay.
environment,
Upload.
like a QA, for example, from there.
So this package is one file which we can upload it to some other environments once we create it here.
Yes, resolve environments.
Oh, okay, okay. That makes sense, right? So you don't have to worry about other automations getting affected by yours, or you don't need to package everything. Hmm.
Yeah, but when you import, make sure you don't override the or you don't import the existing ones that are already present. So maybe in your automation, in your automation, you are using one of the action tasks that were previously designed by someone else. Okay. So and you export the whole run book. So that whole run book will comes with that action task also. And when you try to import into QA, then it will say, do you want to override that action task that is already present? So you can skip those action tasks. Just import the data you just newly created or you want to overwrite. So maybe you created
Hmm.
a automation that is version 1, but now you modified it and you want to overwrite on QA. That time you can say yes, override this runbook with this new data. So when you deploy, we can have a session that time when you are ready to deploy your automation on QA. So we can have a session together and we can do, then you can understand. But yeah, so that's the easy part, not difficult. But we need to make sure we don't
Okay.
override the other things. Um, yeah.
So yeah, that is a good thing. I want to know what the process exists, right? So it's seamless for us to learn again and adapt it. Yeah.
And there is a group. I'm not sure. So if I can add or if you're going to use the platform regularly or not. So there's some developers in this group, resolvers. Okay. So if there is a patching on the resolve environment, nahi post here. There is a
Hmm.
patching environment will not be available. Or if there is any issue. So you see Lucas reported on 9th.
Hmm.
The graph APIs are failing since this morning. Confirmed this is in dev and queue with previously working automation. So this graph API is used to send the mails and it will impact all the other automations.
Hmm.
So I will check the message because this I can pick up. I have logged this to the firewall team to check whether connections are not working. And it was a proxy server we were using that was down. So due to that, it was not working. So I'm not sure. Like maybe I can maybe add Chandra, you and Sunday into this, and if there's anything, you can pass that information to the other guys.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I will try. Anything else? Any questions?
Lot. Sidhu, Nidhi, time is running out.
Yes. I wanted to get the basic understanding of the process flow. Now I need to create tasks and test.
But you are facing some problem, no?
Yes,
Last
I was
time.
trying. Yes, yes. I was trying to send create a task which sends a ping, and if the ping request is successful, it sends a mail. It's a simple task. I just created it, but it is failing when it is trying to send the mail.
Okay. So
Maybe you
let's
can share
see.
something.
No, it's fine. It should be available then if we execute it. So what's your username?
Jagas 001 JAGAS.
When did
Is
you
it
execute?
that one test two?
That is Murli.
That is
Murli.
Murali.
Okay, when you executed this one,
It has been a week. Let me check.
when?
It's been a week. Let me check again. Created on 7th, last month, 3rd, I created it.
So it's
Test
very
dot
old.
run all.
Or try to test now. Okay, because there are so many run books. So try to execute now and see if we get any error. But let's see this Multi's task. Okay.
Oh,
So what is doing? It's a automation. Okay. Test two. So start random number input. It's a bad return and a bot. So it's good thing. Um, you need to test it out to for your automation. Then it will work. So you see, it's a start input. If there's a precondition. If it is good, then good return. If it is bad, bad return. If it is good return, send mail. Uh, to send mail, do not use this one. Use the one the guys are using. I created the MS Graph one. Okay. So the MS Graph one will call the API to generate the token. Then token will pass to the next task and it will send the mail. So you are not using the correct one. You're using the
For
Microsoft dot. Hmm.
I have a doubt in that. While giving the inputs, which inputs can I use for the send email? Can you explain?
So, for example, these inputs are required for the action task, but the action task
Yes.
itself is the not one we verified or tested. So you need to use the graph API one. So let me show you which one you can use. Um, okay, this one I fixed it. Okay, you see, send email using MS Graph authentication. So the first action task is to get graph API token. Whatever the
Okay.
inputs are there is fixed. You don't have to specify anything because reading from the properties, client ID and secrets and the API. Okay, when it triggered, it will call this API and get the token. Okay, once the token
Okay.
is stored on this output file, we are passing that to the, you see, flow. So you need to use
Yes.
flow to pass, and then it will pass that token to the send mail API. It use that bearer token to send the mail. So the parameters you
Okay.
can use to like recipients, you can add email subject
Okay.
and the maybe the body, email body is a test. So if I test now, right now and execute this, so you can use these section tasks, these two into your runbook.
Okay.
So you can see get graph API token slash Microsoft dot graph.
Okay.
I will just paste. You will check this runbook. So what are the action tasks you can use to
Okay.
send
Okay.
mail? So this one you guys will use to send mail. Let me show you quickly. I'll just say, so either the email body comes from the other task or we can just
Okay.
reuse it. So I'll just add it. Task update. Don't update anything on this, just reuse it.
Okay.
So
I'll
Abhishek, this action task will select from the existing ones. That's what you're saying. Or
the
we can
generic
also
ones.
create.
So the
Yeah.
emails will be generic for all the automations. And what you need, maybe you can use email body, subject, and recipients for your thing. But the from and the functionality will be the MS Graph ones only, because we have tested this one. And if you need to develop a new email functionality, you can
Mm.
develop, but reuse of this can save the time.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me show you I executed this one. I remove the key. So you see good, Vodacom
Yes.
email, and it get the token in this action task, and then email sent successful to me. Okay, and
Okay.
process complete, and I have received the email as well. Sure that you see test.
Oh,
Yes. Okay.
So
Mm.
you can use this action task to send me.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Abhi.
I also got my answer for my issue.
Yes.
I was trying to do, I mean, use some different mail settings, but it was failing. As you said, to use the MS Graph, I
Hmm.
also got the answer for my issue.
Okay. Perfect. So yeah, mail you can use this MS Graph one.
Oh,
Previously, we
Okay.
were using EWS that was moved to MS Graph based on the Vodafone policy.
oh,
And Abhi,
Okay.
one question. This automation we have built here or a run book we have built here, right? Suppose I'm just writing one standalone Java program, okay, and running it on some Linux server on our UIM environments. From that one, I want to call this run book. How do we access it? Some URL or is it a URL we have
Yeah,
to call?
that is
Uh-huh.
you can call that HTTP endpoint. You can create
Endpoint
a on
for every
Resolve.
run book, na?
Yeah, so you can call one run book, and under
Mm.
that you can add sub run books. So like 5 to 6 run books under one run book, so performing different functionalities. Like you are calling from a Java program, you are calling on endpoint that is sitting on resolve side, okay, HTTP. Once you call that, it will trigger one run book, and that run book is performing like a 5 run books, like a sub run books you can. So maybe this is for Nokia, maybe this is for DWDM, this is for other technology. So when you call this and run book or that
Are you sharing
API,
anything?
You are
API will
sharing?
trigger this,
Are you
and it
sharing
will
anything?
no. So when you call the API will trigger runbook, okay? And when the runbook starts, based on the conditions, maybe that parameter is supposed to run this one. So this one is a Nokia, DWDM, Huawei TX. So that you can do. So you can just trigger one from your side, and then in the sub runbooks, you can execute the different runbooks together.
It all based upon the parameters, na? Right? What you
Yeah, so
pass.
whatever like a condition, like you want to execute this one first, maybe it will automatically, once it completes, then it will execute this. Uh, 1 second, let
But you
me.
need to create a flow of links, no? That one after
Yeah,
the other
like
it
this.
has to run.
Mm.
So like the start should now this should connect with. So when it triggered, the start will kick off this. Once it complete, then it will kick off this. If it is good,
Mm.
kick off this. If it is bad, kick off that run book. So you can also do the run book to run book instead of that action task. And that
no.
run book has a, you see, existing run book, and that
Mm.
action run book has its own action task that is performing some actions.
Hmm.
Let me revert whatever I'm doing.
So
So
whatever
like
are the input parameters you give for this start will become like a URL parameters, right? Can that be that way?
so what you can pass into the HTTP, that's what
Hmm.
you're
Yes.
saying. Yeah, so you can read into a document. So it's I think 1 second. Where is that? Uh, where is that? This is a meeting chat, workshop. Is all documentation. You see, we need to first select of me. We need to first select the version. 8.0 out. It's very good news. We are on 7.9. Select the version 7.9 and then select this HTTP gateway. Okay. This is all configured. Okay. Enabling setting of HTTP. Create new. You need to create new filter on the um, resolve. As I said, select the port. Okay.
Mm.
And that's it. This is setting up. Yes. Here's a section. So there are different things. 1 second. S- You see detail, structure detail variable. So you can use this. So you need to select the block call. So worksheet. So you can pass the JSON. I think JSON one also, and it will read the from the JSON in the body that they have tested. So let me show you. Filter gateway administration, HTTP, maybe Nokia Random, filter script. So you see the input is HTTP request body. Okay. It's converting that using a JSON to the parse text. And from that, whatever you are getting in like an input data, like if it is wiki, call this one region, select that region from that. So I think you can pass that JSON. You can pass the JSON in the API.
Okay. But what is this interpretation, Abhi? Is output wiki equal to, are you assigning output wiki with the RHS value?
No, so this output wiki is like uh so wiki is like it will execute this run book.
Uh-huh.
Okay, region it will set to from this it will set to this output region. So when you execute this, the outputs of this execution will be these ones. So let me go to Vodacom RAN Reom API. This is a automation. Okay, let me go to automation. Is that is created by Keith. So when you trigger that HTTP endpoint, it will it will trigger this run book.
Okay.
And if required, you can get I think there's a no you can read about this or you can just test it on the resolve.
Hmm. We'll try this.
Yeah, you see, it returns result or detail from action task name SCD filter response that you need to include into the executive automation with the exact same name. So try to execute if there's anything required. You can ping, or if there is any specific use case you're trying to build, but try to understand first, resolve, um, and then.
And that request, whatever is submitted, is it a post request or a get request?
I think it's a post only.
So it will not, okay, fine. But again, concatenating every question mark and ampersand, that will happen, no? That has to happen at the source, right? Whoever is calling it.
Yeah, no, I'm not understanding. Like, you are talking about the body part or the parameter?
Parameters. To pass the parameters to that automation, to that run book from the URL, we can, let's say, param1 equal to value 1. Para at the question at the rate, again, param2 equal to value 2, kind of thing, right?
No, no. So don't include that into the endpoint. You will just add into the body.
JSON body, you mean?
Yes.
Oh.
That will convert the JSON body into a text.
Into the
From there, you
parameters.
can extract it.
But for example, if one or two parameters are there, generally we develop REST web services where we can provide the same JSON parameters, I mean JSON body parameters as a parameters of the URL. Is it not possible
Yes.
here?
You can test, Chandra. I don't.
Okay, we need
Maybe
to
I need
try.
to also
Okay,
test.
okay, yeah. That becomes our life simple to some extent. Okay, but JSON is a good idea anyway. Yeah. Sandhya,
Wow.
is your yeah? Sorry. What?
Yes. Is there any default port that we can use for testing to test that HTTP?
Yeah, you can use that 111 also, but use this for test. Do not just for the production thing.
Okay.
I will give the username password if required.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll pass to Sandhya. Sandhya, you can give to other guys.
Yeah, sure.
Use the port 1111. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Okay, but on dev only.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. Chari, you have any question? Silent.
No, I got answer. Same problem I faced, which faced
Okay.
by Murali and like.
Okay. Okay. Good. Sandhya, your question cleared. Why do we need resolve?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
question.
yeah. I got it now.
He
In the
gave a very
first,
good example actually.
yes, that's
Like for
what that
example,
example only
Zabbix
cleared
thing,
my. Yes, that's,
something like that.
we'll try that now.
That is one use case which we can
Yeah, use
implement,
case.
right?
We can take it as a use case and try it.
Okay, that's
Okay,
all.
I think Abhi, if there is no questions from anyone, we can adjourn here and we will keep trying ours. What we tried is you gave the documentation, right? After that, Shanir gave me some documentation and I shared with the team and they started doing their hands actually. So we are as and when we get the doubts, we will contact you again, Abhi.
Okay, no problem.
I have a DFA automation use case which we need to implement through UIM and resolve. So I'll work on that. I'll start working on that rather. Yeah.
No, I think that will be a good use case to use of both applications.
Which will interact with the NSP actually, Nokia NSP.
Yeah, okay, network elements.
Network element naya installation actually.
Okay, for new installation.
Okay. Yeah, it's a long way, but we are doing some baby steps here. We'll connect with you again and again, number of times now.
Okay, no problem. Okay, I need to jump off.
Thank you. We need
It's
to
fine.
keep
Thank
moving.
you. Thank you,
Bye,
Abhi.
Abhishek.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Abhishek.
much.
Thank you, Abhishek.
Thank you, Abhishek.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Abhi. Bye.
Somebody should stop the recording.
Yeah.
I will go into what comment stop.
I think it will stop automatically once we exit.
Who started? It is
Abhishek.
Vodacom?
Abhishek start.
He
Anyone
was the
can.
only one who joined from Vodacom.
Oh. Oh. I think you can stop. Yeah.
I will go.
I think we can exit and it will stop
Yeah.
automatically. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.